Hello, everyone. My name is Colin Smith, CEO of Gold Basin Resources Corporation. I just wanted to take the opportunity today to take everybody through our July 18 news release, which covered initial soil and rock sample assays from a Q2 2023 program, which we completed at the Gold Basin Project in Northwest Arizona. Now, there will be some forward-looking statements said, so please review this at your leisure. And now, where did we sample and why? So what we're looking at on the map on the right-hand side are the project tenements as they are today. All property drill holes are in yellow dots. And what you're seeing is a base map within the claims. That's the data from a 2023 LiDAR survey, which we flew at Gold Basin in Q1 of this year. Now, what LiDAR is essentially it's an airborne survey which collects centimeter scale precision and accurate topographic data. So that's very useful in structural interpretation, sometimes lithological interpretation, certainly looking at where there's good exposure and or drainage and cover. Lots of great applications with LiDAR. I think it should be a must-have for any exploration project. And in addition to structural and geological interpretation, at Gold Basin, we were able to identify over 230 sites of small-scale historical mining property-wide, and those are illustrated on the map by these small black mining symbols. And you'll see in this area over here to the east and northeast of the cyclopic oxide gold deposit, there's about 125 of these 230 sites all clustered right in there. And you'll notice as well that there's no yellow dots, meaning these are undrilled sites. And after pulling this into the main project database and map in ARC, there's very little geochemistry. There's very little evidence of any modern day compilation-based exploration done in this area. So it was a great candidate to run some initial soils. So as you see at the bottom bullet, we collected 530 samples on lines oriented sort of to the northeast, southwest. And in addition to that, wherever we couldn't collect the soil, for example, it was all outcrop, we took a rock chip sample, so 43 rocks were also collected. And concurrent to that, we ran a regional prospecting and rock sampling campaign also within this general AOI. And that was visiting some of these undrilled sites of historical small-scale mining. And so from that, 110 rock samples were collected. All of those rocks have been received, and about a third of the soils to date have been received as well. So why don't we take a look at the results? So on the map again, this is kind of a zoomed in look at that cluster of historical sites of small scale workings. You can see the red symbols now. The soil samples, which we collected and have assays for now, are the circles with black outlines. And then the rock samples, which we collected and have assays for now, are the squares with black outlines. The grade thresholds are all illustrated above. And in addition to that, drill holes are now in white dots. So what you can see is pretty clear. I mean, there's major kilometer scale gold trends that really stretch across the entire grid area. And many of these are open in both directions. So we'll be looking to do some extensional soil sampling and rock sampling, stepping out from these existing lines. The next slide actually has annotated trends, so we can get into the nitty gritty of what that means and where they are exactly. And the teal circles that you see on the map, illustrated by these 7 teal dots, those are all new discoveries of visible gold at surface. So some of those were in outcrop, some of them were in subcrop, some of them were samples from old pits or old dump piles. And ultimately, from the rock samples that we did have returned to us so far, you can see 28 of them graded over a gram per ton gold, 11 of them graded over 5 grams per ton gold, and 6 of them graded over 10 grams per ton gold. And of course, many of those were VG sites that we identified and sampled. And anytime you're getting over an ounce per ton oxide gold at surface, it's something to get pretty excited about. Now, this is the same map you're looking at here, just annotated with the trends. So the main one really stretches across and past the full breadth of the cyclopic oxide gold deposit strike length, and then extends for 3.25 kilometers and is really open in both directions. There's an additional 1.7 kilometer long trend that can be interpreted going in this sort of an orientation, and then about 2.3 clicks along strike and down trend from cyclopic itself is another kilometer long trend of high grade rock samples, lots of historical workings, and then of course 2 VG discoveries as well down there. This is a table just showing a summary of all the rock sample assays which graded over a gram per ton gold. And again, there's 28 of those total out of the 110 samples, which is pretty impressive. Next few slides are just some photographs of the VG samples and those of which graded very well, of course. Everybody loves pictures of gold, so it's maybe a little tough to see, but within that buggy, darker area there's a nice fleck of sort of millimeter scale VG. Again, a little fleck in this sample here. Both of these samples graded close to an ounce per ton, so 29 grams per ton for GS0014, 35.5 grams per ton for 57 here. And, you know, fairly good association with quartz veining and oxidation. You can see all of the materials very, very strongly oxidized. So this would be, you know, stuff that would go right on the leach pad, so to speak. And on this slide, we're highlighting two more high-grade VG-bearing rock samples in the form of GS0042, which is this just shy of 18 gram per ton gold rock sample you see on the left-hand photo here. That was collected from a dump pile near a historical site of small-scale workings. And then GS0013 here, which is the VG photos that you see above the map here, that graded 12.4 grams per ton, and that was collected from a site about 2 kilometers along trend and strike to the southeast of Cyclopic. And again, in an area of that sort of kilometer-long arcuate gold anomaly defined by high-grade rock samples, and there's probably a good 20 sites of historical small-scale working in that vicinity as well. So pretty exciting, and let's get on to the final slide. Upcoming catalysts. So what do we have in the hopper? Now the remaining 350, 2/3 of the soils get thereabouts are pending, and then all the 43 rocks that were collected along the lines are pending as well. We're also just starting to receive assay results from the 2,000-meter RC drill program, which was following up the 5,000-meter RC program we did in Q1. So those are all pending, and we should get the first release out for that in the next week or two at the most. Further to that, we'll be extending upon the coverage of geochemical sampling. I mean, you saw those anomalies are open on both ends. Those trends are open on both ends. So really, we want to extend that coverage as much as possible. And we brought on a very skilled and hungry and passionate geologist by the name of Kevin Rafferty as our senior geo. And he's really going to be spearheading a lot of the field campaigns, the geological mapping, structural interpretation. He brings a brilliant mind to the team, and we're excited to get him out to the field. And so ultimately, we're going to be accelerating field work in a big way. It's pretty toasty, as you could imagine there right now. It's probably pushing 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the field. But once it gets to a more humane temperature, Kevin will be out there almost every day and ultimately working towards probably a Q3 or Q4 drill program to further expand the ever-growing maiden 43-101 resource. And, you know, we're excited to get to that point when it comes out. So thanks, everybody, for your time. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out, and happy to hear from you anytime. Have a great day, and bye for now.